everybody. I'm going to pick up from the last speech I had on doing hobbies and starting hobbies. I'm going to start showing you my hobbies. And what I'm going to start with doing my beadwork, my crocheting. Now when you do crocheting, you can start, there's different kinds of yarns you can use. This is a cotton type of thread. You can feel it if you like. You can sense that it's, strictly a cotton thread. There's regular yarn that you have, and there's different gauges that you have to use. I don't usually follow it, but that's your regular yarn. And then they have this fancy stuff that I was given that I haven't figured out what I'm going to use it for yet, but it's woven like that. You can probably do scarves and stuff with this. So that's your yarn that you would use. You also have different needles that you can use, and they come in different sizes as well. You have that one that fell on the ground. You have this one, which is quite big. It's a G hook, and that'll make, say, this type of stitch. It'll make it bigger. The bigger the hook, the bigger the stitch. If you want to do crocheting, you have to remember that. The bigger the hook, the bigger the stitch. You get that first. And then there's, if you use the smaller hooks, you're going to get a smaller stitch. Some of the things I've made with that little purse, I've done hop pads. You can make hop pads with these. You make both sides, that way when you go to put your pad on the counter, it won't burn it. I did that color scheme. You can do any color scheme you want. I did a patriotic scheme. I did a Christmas scheme. And there's also the books you can buy. Now this type of book, you have to use a thinner hook with like a yarn, a cotton yarn, to make your doilies. And it shows you all the different patterns. I haven't yet mastered these. It's a little difficult, I would say. But maybe with due time and a lot of spare time, I'll be able to figure out how to make these. I'll use this book as well. This book gives me the pattern for, if I can find it, somewhere. Pattern for that one. Yeah. Shows you that. This just gives you the different holidays and seasons you can make them with, but you can use any kind of color you want and any kind of, I bought a different yarn for that one. For my beading, I get these kind of magazines. I get these sent directly in the mail. This is bead and button. And there's all different kinds of patterns in here. To show you how to make, say, that necklace. Now with beading, I was talking last week about the different size beads you can use. So you got the pearl there, or a bicone crystal. Oops. Bicone crystal. My display fell apart. It happens. And I'm not starting to air it. So it's that. I learned how to do this up in Canada as well. I taught myself off of patterns. And that's the bigger size bead. These are the smaller size beads that you can use. And I've made a butterfly pin and which I should take this down, a pharaoh. And you're using the real tiny beads there. But there you have the different beads. You have the seed bead, which are the silver or the gold. The blue beads, which are called bugle beads. And then you just glue on the embellishment if you want. This took me a little bit more time to make. Now to do that, you have to use these needles, which I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up or not. But these are real fine, so they go through any bead. Instead of like a thicker, like the crocheting with a thicker needle, you would need a wider hole. They do have an assortment of needles that you can use to make it, if you have a bigger hole or a thinner hole, but these are for the real fine beads. And this is one of the books that I started when I first started beading, and this shows you how to do all the stitches. Teaches you how to begin. And there's your patterns. and in the back it'll give you the color, some of the color schemes you can use. Again, it's all, what you want to do. You can either do it, you want to do a penguin, you can make them any color coded you want. You can do them with, straight beads, flat beads. But that's just a little bit of what I did and how I do my hobbies now. Thank you for coming.
Wasn't that special?